In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone. What's going on? It's me, Paul Amadeus Lane. So happy to have you with me on the show today. We welcome all of our viewers and our listeners on our home base here at ABC News Radio affiliate KMET AM and FM. Can't forget about our streaming viewers and listeners out there, Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music. I always want to say iTunes all the time, but Amazon Music too. We appreciate you liking and subscribe and also giving feedback of our different episodes that we have here. We really appreciate your feedback. And we are now back releasing our content on YouTube. I know it's been a while, YouTube algorithms, but we've had some requests from our guests that we had and others that we work with. So we're back on YouTube, even though they will bury these episodes in their algorithms. But you who follow us, you know where we're at. So we really, really, really appreciate it. When it comes to running a business, you have to have your finger on the pulse of the finances. And sometimes that can be a really tall task to really make sure that you're covering all the bases with it. And this is real cool when it comes to fintech, financial tech. When we think of fintech, we always think of like stocks and everything and how it can help us to grow our portfolio. But there's a segment of fintech where you can make sure that you're unleashing innovation to make sure you're keeping track of real-time finances of your business. And this is huge. I mean, to be able to track things with the use of technology can really make or break a business. But not only that, you can see how things are going, see, you know, how this particular expenditure is going over here. And we are so happy that now we have technology that can really help and assist us. And I brought on these two amazing guys right here to give us more information about this and more, and how their company has helped meeting the need of the challenges when it comes to businesses and keeping track of them finances as well. I am so delighted to have with me right now my next two guests. They are from Digits. We have co-founders Chang and Jeff Seibert. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well. Great to be here, Paul. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, great to have you guys. And when I was looking at all the great things that you guys are doing over at Digits, I was like, yeah, this is like a no-brainer. So if you gentlemen don't mind, if you can kind of give us a background on Digits and why it was created in the first place.
For sure. Happy to dive in, and then Wayne can go from there. So we started Digits about 3.5 years ago with the goal of really giving business owners better insight and understanding of the businesses they're running. And this came from direct personal experience. Wayne and I had previously started a company about a decade ago. And through that whole journey, we were just so frustrated, not realizing, not understanding how our company was actually doing until a couple weeks after the end of each month. You're sitting there waiting for your accountant to give you your profit and loss, your income statement, your balance sheet. And it's not their fault. They just have a lot of work to do. They're busy and they're trying to go through all your data and close your books. But meanwhile, we're sitting there waiting, not sure how things were going. And if you look at it, the industry average is actually a 15 to 21 day close. And so by the time you find out how December went, it's already, January is almost over. I'm not focused on December. I'm worried about February. And so with that concept in mind, we set out to build a real-time finance platform and real-time dashboard for business owners to really understand what was going on.
Very impressive, very impressive. And Wayne, you'd like to dive in on it?
Yeah. If you're a business owner, wouldn't you want to be able to just pull out your phone or pull out your computer and just know what's happening in that moment? So we set out to solve that problem. And so it's we built it in such a way that it's not just accounting or finance or archaic things you understand. We spent an incredible amount of time making it really delightful, really fun, really approachable. Everybody that we've shown they've looked at it and they said, this is what I'm looking for. Everything from business, finance, and accounting should be just like this. And that's what we aim for.
That's awesome. And one thing that you brought up too, Jeff, that made my ears perk up was that real-time information.
Yes.
And we live in a very fast-paced world now. You know, the world has changed since the last decade and even the last 20 years when it comes to businesses and also just your financial aspects of things. And I'm a business owner myself too. I'm a business owner and sometimes I forget certain things and I'm like, oh, what about this? What about that? Especially with finances, you can't forget about stuff because if you do, you can find yourself really behind the 8 ball. And if we look at the different trends out there and just the landscape of where we're at when it comes to businesses, how are business owners receiving this? Like when they reach out to you guys, because this is like something they may not be familiar with.
Definitely. And so as Wayne was saying, we care deeply about the experience and making this accessible regardless of any background in finance or accounting. Most business owners today have no formal training in those fields. And so we wanted to design this in a way that you can pull up digits and understand, oh, that's what revenue is looking like. Oh, where did these big expenses come from? Who are we paying? How is money flowing through the business? And what was most important is to make that immediately available. And so with a lot of sort of business tools, there's a whole bunch of sign up hassle. You have to configure it. It's this whole process. That is not the case with digits. It literally takes 30 seconds to sign up for. And all you do is link your books. So we sit on top of your existing QuickBooks. We sit on top of your existing accountant's work. It takes 30 seconds to link your books. We process all your data and we give you these insights so you can pay attention to what matters.
And if we can, let's dive in a little deeper. Let's get a little nerdy and techie. Let's talk about the technology that allows you guys to do something like this.
So we've been building for 3.5 years, and Digit sits on top of pretty advanced machine learning and sort of AI type algorithms, where as we pull in all your financial data for the business, we're training these models on your business's data. They're customized to you. And so what we're able to do is really understand the shape of your business. And we call this the living model. Our goal is to basically build a living financial model of your business that we then update in real time as new transactions happen. And so as customers are paying you, as you're sending out invoices, as you're paying for stuff on your credit cards, whatever it might be, that model is constantly updated. And that allows us to render this dashboard experience where you can see how everything's going.
And one thing that I appreciate, you guys have the different 4 corners kind of, covered: vendor, expense, category, and employee. And that's something that's not easy to do. So really impressive how you guys were able to do that. What were some of the challenges to get all these pieces to work together like that? How'd you guys overcome any challenges that you guys may have had?
Yeah, it is a huge technical problem. And people always ask when they see the product, oh, why hasn't this existed already, right? It's 2022. And it's because this is incredibly hard to build. And so what we've been really focused on the past few years is data correctness. If we show you a number that's wrong, of course, that's useless. You're not going to trust digits. You're not going to make the right decision for your company, et cetera. And so data quality is really, really important. And we have to get all of that right. We need to correctly identify the vendor, correctly assign the budget category, et cetera. And there's a lot of algorithms under the covers that give us confidence that that's correct.
And was it kind of hard to sell this vision to like investors when you guys first was putting this together? Because they probably, unless they had a futuristic mind, they probably were like, I don't know about this, but talk about that journey if you don't mind.
Wayne.
Yeah. It actually turns out that a lot of innovation in Silicon Valley is going towards very consumerized tech. Can we get the next really great camera filter? Can we do AR filtering and things like that? Surprisingly, very, very, very little mind share and creativity and innovation is happening in the business finance space. And so a lot of the existing technologies are actually built in the 80s and the 90s, and they just carry forward. So when Jeff and I discovered it, we're like, this can't be the state of the industry. This doesn't really make sense. And it turns out it does. It is the state of the industry. Even the onboarding to some of these systems, people, the industry are like, oh, get started in 4 to 6 weeks. Or it even goes as long as like, oh, get started in 18 months. Hire our sales, our on-site, integrator. And so when we decide to approach this, we're going to solve that problem right away. We're going to make sure that onboarding is not weeks, it's not months, it's instant. Zero configuration. You just link up your QuickBooks, you link up your accounts, and in 30 seconds, you have access.
And if we can, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeff, please.
I was just to say, and I think pitching that vision, we were fortunate, was appealing to investors. We actually got 72 angels involved in the company in the early days. And these are sort of founders, CEOs, executives of a ton of different tech companies, because we wanted their wealth of knowledge and their perspective in building their companies to really influence the product.
That makes a lot of sense. That definitely, because they're business owners too. They want to know how things can work for them. And if we can, let's spend a little time. We kind of touched on this a little bit about why business owners tend to forget the number of financial aspects of their businesses. I really want to spend some time with that, because I think that can really make or break a person in their business. So why do we?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And if you look at the data, 80% of business failures are due to cash flow issues, right? It's something that got messed up on the finance side. And I think it really comes down to people's passions, right? When you start a company, you're not starting your company because you want to run a business. You're starting your company because you want to make something or offer a service or help your community or open a restaurant, whatever your passion is doing, right? And so I think a lot of the time the finances get pushed to the sidelines or pushed to the late night hours or early morning hours, and it's easy to make mistakes. And so part of our goal with Digits is to give you the tools to really understand things quickly, bring stuff to your attention, and help you make the business stronger.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And when we look at where we're at in stream of time, the way tech is now, I remember a few years back we used to call the IoT the Internet of Things, but we've kind of morphed to our thinking now, called it the intelligence of things, where it's really taking on new life as an all with machine learning and all the different aspects of technology out there. And something tells me that you guys are always innovating, always thinking forward thinking, because the tech world changes with different innovations out there. And is that a challenge to keep up on the different tech trends? And, we know that cybersecurity is definitely high priority and all these other things. Do you guys have to keep your hands on the pulse of everything going on so that this innovation continues to work as it intended?
It's definitely busy. And that's part of the joy of being in tech, is seeing how quickly things change. And so we definitely keep an eye on the latest computer technologies, latest cybersecurity practices. We're trying to build the best product we can. But all of that ultimately comes down to, what does the customer want? And so we stay really focused on these business owners and how do we help them and their accountants and their finance teams. And we make a call, right? So some technology is great for them. Some technology may not apply. And so we try to be focused and just stay really disciplined about the product experience.
Yeah.
Some of our customers, they still rely on paper, and they still rely on being able to use like the pen and paper and draw little things. So we've actually had to make sure that our technology even supports all the stuff they're currently used to. So the change isn't so dramatic. The change isn't so jarring for them. It just fits their existing workflows.
Yeah, and that really, I guess, talk people away from the ledge, right? Like, oh, I'm just too busy. I can't learn all this stuff, and I'm just so busy right now. So you guys took all the guesswork out of it. You said, hey, plug and play. Let's do it. We got it. We got to integrate it. We can make it happen.
And it turns out, if you want to print it, you can do that. You can print it, and it prints. So. Yeah.
So save a tree, right? We gotta.
Right.
We gotta love the environment, so we're a digital age now. So what has been the kind of like the most challenging part of this journey for you two as co-founders, and just getting the message across of how this innovation right here can really truly help meet the needs of different businesses out there?
So great. I'll answer from the technical side, and then maybe Wayne can. from the technical and product side, it's definitely the data quality I was talking about. Still today, the vast majority of financial transactions are hand entered by your accountants. And so it's just a natural part of the process. There's going to be typos, there's going to be mistakes made, and it's nobody's fault. They're just dealing with so much input. It's inevitable. And so we've spent a lot of time working on our system to automatically detect and correct some of these common mistakes so that we know what you're seeing is accurate.
On the user and experience side of it, making this intuitive that you don't need instruction manuals, you don't need a CPA, you don't need a finance degree, accounting degree. It just works. It's so intuitive. When you see it, you know what to do. That has been a huge challenge in the space, and something that we're super focused on. And so, if this wasn't broadcasted visually, I would love to show it to you so you can actually see what it looks like. But we don't want to show before we announce.
All right, sounds good. So, I mean, you guys have to come back on to show, to announce, and we can watch too as well. That'd be really
exactly.
cool.
Or we put a giant censored thing on top of it.
There you go. So it's only we can see, right? That'll be pretty cool. You know, and when you look at one thing about the innovation too about Digits is detecting anomalies. What type of anomalies out there does it in particularly detect?
Yeah, really great question. So again, focused on the finances of your business, it's a really common pattern that you might just misbook an expense. So let's say you have a marketing team thing, and 1 month it gets booked as sales or gets booked as an office supplies thing. This sounds silly, but it actually happens all the time. One of the patterns we've seen is Uber. Well, people often mistake it with Uber Conference, which is a conference line calling system. And so we see all these Uber conference charges booked as taxis, which doesn't make sense. And so that's one category. A whole nother category is when you're dealing with subscriptions and prepaid spend. So let's say you have an annual subscription that supports your business. Sometimes that gets booked all at once, or you miss a month of booking it because you're supposed to accrue it out over the term of the year. And so there's a bunch of different accounting patterns that we detect and correct for.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, as a business owner myself, you know, I'm like, oh, wow, this is, yeah. And I can imagine a lot of the business owners that are listening and in the tech world and other industries out there who follow the show, they're like, wow, yeah, this is, you know, this definitely makes sense. I can get rid of the seat. No, I'm just joking. but Wayne, let me hear your thoughts as well. Sure.
Yeah. If you're a business owner and you use QuickBooks, you definitely want technology like Digits working for you. So it just constantly learns in the background. Every time a change happens in your business, a new transaction happens, or you rebook something, Digits will relearn that. And then on top of that, if it sees something that your business or your books or account has never seen before, but Digits has on a larger scale, it will then pull that information for you. So it helps and assists. So it saves you massive amounts of time, reduces a ton of errors, and gives you that real-time insight that every business owner wants.
And gentlemen, before I let you go, anything else out there you would like to share with the tech world, share with business owners out there? The floor is yours.
We have a major launch coming later this quarter, March timeframe. We've been working on it for about 3 years. And so we're very excited to announce that in March. We think that every business owner is gonna love this, and their accountants are gonna love it even more.
Awesome. Jeff, any closing words?
Wayne nailed it. That's the story. Very excited for this launch. Our team's been working really hard for a number of years on this. And so just, huge shout out to our team for all they do, and can't wait to bring this to the world.
See, that shows how you guys are good co-founders together, because you guys just work hand in hand together. Nobody's stepping on each other. Everybody's doing their lane and everything, and that's pretty awesome. You know, you can tell the camaraderie you both have and everything, and the symbiotic relationship that you guys have as business owners. Let's give the website out so ones can check out some of the things going on at Digits.
Yes, www.digits.com. All spelled correctly.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what. When the launch happens, you got to come back on. We'll talk about it, and we'll have some fun. All right.
Appreciate it. Sounds great.
Thanks, Paul.
Really enjoyed chatting with Wayne and Jeff from Digits. I mean, some really good information, some food for thought And be honest. You are in the business world right now, who follow us, who listen how technology can help your businesses out. How familiar were you with this, right? See, that's why I love the guests that we have. They can educate us on some of the things out there that we may not even know that can help our business out. I mean, this is truly, truly awesome. And our theme for our show today has been tech for good. Tech that can help us out. Tech gets a bad rap a lot, right? Because all we do is look at what social media is doing is, oh, tech is bad because people are bullying. True, that is bad. And people use that for nefarious and bullying people. But tech right here that we talked about on the show today, so that's solving problems that can help us to succeed. And what the folks are doing over at Digits is really amazing. All right. Well, that is the end of our show. We can look forward to chatting with you next week and spending some time with you and talk about some more great things out there in the tech world. You know, if you look at the way things are going in this world, and I kind of talked about this in the beginning of the show, how tech is really, really everywhere. And if you are a business owner, do your research on how tech can help you succeed in your business. If you're a parent, see how tech can help you out to keep you and your family safe, not only physically, but medically as well. And if you are a parent or a grandparent, unleash that technology so that your kids and your grandkids can check on you and see how you're doing. Because everybody wants a measure of independence, but we also want to make sure that our family members are safe. And this is where technology has really helped meeting the need of everything that's going on today in this world. But be careful. With the use of technology, there's a lot of nefarious things going on. Like, for instance, people will send you text messages saying, oh, this package is here. Click here. You click on there, and then some of your data is compromised. We have people sending stuff via WhatsApp app saying, hey, send money, send Bitcoin here. Don't do that. If you don't know nobody personally, and even if it's somebody you know personally, call them and say, hey, I got this message from you. You know, did you intend to send that? You know, I remember several years ago, my sister-in-law said she got a text or a Facebook message from my sister asking for money. And my sister-in-law, I think, gave her some money. But then we tried to tell her, say, no, you know, my sister wouldn't do that. So did you call her? Well, she didn't call her. Well, thankfully, she got her money back. But even if it's people you think you know, go back to the old school tech. Call them on the phone and say, hey, I got this message from you. Did this come from you? I can't tell you how many times that we were able to thwart off some very serious complications because of that. So tech for good. Use this tech for what it's intended for, to make our lives easier and better. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to make it like a tree and get out of here. But thank you guys so much for being on the show. See you guys next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on all these different episodes that we have. And we look forward to talking to you next time. And remember, I love you guys to life. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Take care.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul. I'm a dead slain in the tech zone.